Think, how often do you use artificial intelligence, AI, every day? It's already integrated into our lives, but can still do so much more, not least tackling some of our biggest challenges, from climate change to healthcare. How do we harness its full positive potential? Across Europe, brilliant minds have been actively developing cutting-edge AI solutions, driving innovation and progress through dynamic collaboration. That's where the European Networks of Excellence Centres, NoEs, come in. Funded by the EU, they unite Europe's top researchers to push the boundaries in AI, data and robotics. Discover the NoEs that are shaping the future of AI. Currently, there are 9 focused NoEs, united in a common goal, to develop trustworthy European AI, which is reliable, secure and beneficial for everyone. Let us introduce several of them. AI for Media brings together leading AI researchers, media professionals, legal experts and social scientists to advance next-generation media AI technologies towards ethical and trustworthy AI. ELISE is a network of research hubs and associated fellows which uses the highest level of research to spread its knowledge and methods in academia, industry and society. HumanE-AI-Net is an interdisciplinary community blending AI, human-computer interaction, law and neuroscience dedicated to Question Zero. When is it right to integrate AI in systems? The TAILOR network develops the scientific foundations for trustworthy AI, combining learning, optimization and reasoning with the key concepts of trustworthy AI. The Vision project brings these networks together to facilitate the joint efforts of these NoEs and to create a world-class AI ecosystem made in Europe. All of these projects have come together to develop a joint initiative under the leadership of AI for Media and Vision to establish the International AI Doctoral Academy, known as ADA, and offer access to a world-class AI education and research program that attracts PhD talents from across Europe. As a result, NoEs collaborate to unite leading researchers from across Europe. These networks bridge the gap between research and industry, ensuring innovations reach the real world and benefit society.
Okay, so we'll start with this, let's say, overview of the networks. So just to have one slide, okay, we are all building towards the AI ecosystem of excellence, and you see there is a galaxy of tools in which Network of Excellence centers are part of it, right? So it's also connected to AI on Demand platform, testing and experimentation facilities, digital innovation hubs, ADRA, and Horizon 2020, Horizon Europe. So we are all working together to build this excellence in AI, data, and robotics. And these are the networks. We'll start with the network that will finish, and I will ask each representative to come and present their own slides. So we'll start in alphabetical order. This is AI for Media.
Okay, it's me again. So I will try to be fast as I asked for the others. So basically this is, let's say, the main slide for our results. The main activities that we have done in the duration of the project was core research activities and dealing with multimodal content was among the main things. And then we used all these research results in order to build real-world applications. These were like demonstrators and the prototypes which were developed together with companies in order to solve real-life problems to demonstrate the usefulness of AI and get feedback. But we have been also very active in AI policy and regulation aspects. We have monitored the landscape and several parameters and produced a number of reports, some more details later. We have also studied the societal impact of AI, especially in the media sector, and we have been very active in networking, outreaching and education activities. Of course, you know IDA, how has evolved all over the years. There is a dedicated day tomorrow. We had our open calls and an exchange program. So regarding research, you see here in more detail the research directions and the numbers. So more than 400 publications, a large number of open software, open datasets, and so on. As I will show later, many of these, most of this software is also available under AI on demand. Here are some examples of studies and roadmaps regarding regulation, impact, policy making, and so on. And throughout the project, we have developed also this, I think, very nice and useful concept of presenting also results in a brief way, so to be more easily understood and consumed by general public. These are the use cases. So as I mentioned, a number of demonstrations, but not only software, again, white papers and documentation on the development and the results and the impact on this. And I think a very interesting results, because we couldn't develop all the use cases that we wanted. We have developed an additional document with scenarios and ideas which were beyond the initial use cases foreseen in the proposal. The AI for the AI media, not for me, the AI media observatory is one of the tools that, as Cecile mentioned, to make our network more sustainable and to have a long-lasting presentation and the interaction with the Commission. So it is a platform where relevant comment becomes available, and visitors can also interact, upload, or look for comment, interact with experts, and so on. IDA, as I mentioned, yes, we have, of course, the day tomorrow. You see some of the numbers, the members, lecturers, lecture students, and so on. It has become like a stand-alone educational and training organization, quite well recognized for AI training in Europe. These were, let's say, the results for our open calls and mobility. We had altogether 20 external projects being funded by the project in a very well, I would say, organized and competitive calls, and they contributed both to project objectives, and some of them also uploaded the results to AI on demand platform. And we had 88 visits between our members and the members outside the consortium all these years. Many of them produced very good results, like journal papers and so on. And the very nice thing is that many of these comments created links that again will continue after the project, and these visits will continue within other frameworks. Just finishing and summarizing some of the key lessons learned, which I guess are some of them common to other similar initiatives. The collaboration from different disciplines, because we have legal, societal aspects, of course, technical ones. I think it worked, and it produced some very interesting and maybe not so expected results, but again, it was difficult, especially in the beginning, to bring all these people together, bringing things from research to practice, the usual challenge. A little bit more relevant to AI research, the access to real-life, high-quality data sets always remains an issue. And yes, again, more specific to our activity, collaboration with the Network of Excellence was very useful, but in many cases required a lot of effort, like organizing this event, for example. And yes, contribution to AI on demand, we were very active on it, but in many cases there were some difficulties there. So this is it from our side. So.
Okay, so we do ELISE. So Chris Murray will do it online. Chris, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes. Go ahead. I will change the slides.
Okay. Hello, I'm Chris Murray. I'm the coordinator for the ELISE project. Sorry, I can't be with you there in person today. So started just to give a brief explanation of what ELISE does. So we are sort of the earliest project building on the ELIS Society, and we work closely with the ELIS Society with a vision to attract and enable top researchers in Europe, create regional ecosystems and lead AI research, and bring Europe's leading AI hotspots together. Importantly, ELISE does not produce publications or research on its own. Its role is to facilitate, build the groundwork for that research to take place. Next slide, please.
I wish. Okay.
So the mechanisms for doing so were through the ELIS research programs. This includes workshops and travel grants to facilitate the exchange of research and collaboration between researchers. ELIS units, which actually function as the hubs of AI and ML research in different organizations. The ELIS Pan-European PhD program, which does exchanges and placements, and the mobility for fellows, scholars, and students. And then we as well had a number of grassroots collaborations with the surrounding ecosystem system and industry open calls and support of SME projects. Next slide, please. So just a few numbers that we're proud of. So we now have 41 ELIS units, which is up 7 since our first periodic report. That includes one associated unit, an institute based in Tübingen, and now 16 research programs, up from 11 from when the project started. We've onboarded about 178 new fellows and scholars, 422 PhD students, and we've now supported 32 SME projects. Next slide, please. Particularly proud of our PhD program, which has been very successful. Following the 2023 central recruitment campaign, we had more than 3,000 candidates. And this included a very high standard of acceptance, but we recruited now, most recently, 422. A number of really great successful events that have facilitated building this next generation of AI researchers, which I won't go through there, but you can see them. Next slide, please. Number of very successful research program workshops. I think you can see Nicu there in that picture, attending the ELIS workshop and multimodal foundation models workshop in Oberwolfshoek. I won't go through these as well, but we've also had successful collaborative workshops with ELIAS. Our first ELIS doctoral symposium in Helsinki last year, which brought together, I think, about 150, 200 PhD students. Next slide. I thought I'd include this as well. Our work package based in Denmark is leading really exciting research with the Euro HPC community, and will produce an updated recommendations report for European AI infrastructure in a couple of months. That working group is actually going to meet here in Helsinki over the next couple of days, and they've produced a number of very interesting insights so far. Next slide, please. And just to give an example of the couple of SMEs that we've supported in the most recent open call, so augmented hearing, which uses AI to basically cut out the noise in hearing aids. And they produced a very exciting report and seemed to have really good results. Next slide. And Rhino Health is another example. They enhance breast cancer prognosis by developing an advanced detection algorithm using federated learning. Next slide. ELISE has also been really active in advice to policymakers. So Petri Myllmäki, who is ELISE's innovation manager, as well as Andreas Krause, who's an ELIS fellow, were appointed to the UN high-level advisory body on artificial intelligence. We produced a roadmap for Europe on AI foundation models. We produced 2 versions of a strategic research agenda, as well as in parallel with the joint work that we've done with Vision. And 2022, the Trine, who's one of our beneficiaries, organized a 2-day meeting with representatives at the European Parliament. As a few examples. Last slide. So we've just done 2 very general lessons learned. So I think about a year ago, some really conscious effort went into this idea of how are we going to have a good exit plan. So similarly, how we're going to be talking over the next couple of days about sustainability of new NoEs. ELISA started working with ELIS very closely on how we would continue this legacy work so that ELIS can continue to grow as part of the European AI ecosystem. And we did that by developing the ELIS Areas Initiative. So a lot of the work that had already been done in ELISA could then carry over into ELIS going forward. And I'd say something we're still trying to learn, and something we hope our successor organizations continue to develop, is how to distinguish between the project and the network. And this is especially important in dissemination activities. So even in this presentation, I tried to focus on what did ELISA actually do to build our objective, which is building the ground for the research without producing research itself. And communicating this is an ongoing challenge, but something that we've learned that we need to work on moving forward. Thank you very much. That's my presentation.
Thank you, Chris. Okay.
Right. So we're going to present the HumanE-AI network, which focuses on human AI collaboration. Right. So what we focus on, as opposed to other networks, is trustworthy European values-based AI, but focus not on replacing or imitating humans, but really at doing AI that can empower humans. And it looks both at the effect of the individual, but also on the effect that the technology has on society as a whole. And as a consequence, the way we organized the project was to have social AI and ethics and responsibility in the middle. And then around that, arrange research on the classical AI topics such as learning and reasoning, but also very strong focus on perception, and including human-computer interaction research, and a very, very strong community within our project that involves human-computer interaction people like Passant here, who is the manager of our project, in the research. And so we've been producing a lot of research results, and I'll come back to that in research in our lessons learned. We're all facing sort of the situation that we had a type of project that many of us did not encounter before, something in between the classical network of excellence project type, where it's just only about networking, but also a project that called for actually doing some research. We solved it about what we call like micro project. We have like 200, I think between 100 and 200 what we call micro projects, where you would have a groups of 3, 4, 5 researchers from different institutions coming together to work on something that they have decided, and we as a project decided, would be an interesting contribution to this broad area of hybrid human AI collaboration. Each of them resulting in publication, tool sets, things we gave to the community. So that was the core of our research. We've been pretty successful. And then how we used it to have an impact on the community is, first of all, we are pretty proud of having established a new scientific venue, which is our HHAI Hybrid Human AI Conference, which has been taking place now for 3. Next year it's scheduled for the 4th year, right? If you think about a scientific community, then usually the conferences that we publish at and we discuss, we meet, are the heart of that. So that's something that project, together with some national initiatives like the Italian and the Dutch one, has established. We are into a process of publishing a handbook of human AI collaboration with Springer, a big handbook that should provide insight for best practice beyond the project. You also invited to communicate. We have provided platforms and tool sets which are being given and implemented on the AI on Demand platform, public data sets in different areas, and again, I think new insights at the boundary of AI, HCI, and social science, like understanding agency in human AI collaboration, new theories of engagement between AI and humans. And then, of course, what we also want to do is to engage beyond science, right? So that is a message that Cecile was having to us all. So we looked at our engagement as an industry in 2 different scopes. One was trying to engage the big players in the industry. So the project actually had very, very big companies like Philips, Airbus, Telefonica from different sectors. And we worked with those companies to do workshops that would try to evolve what we call like the research agenda in human-centric ethical AI in those sectors. So we had a very successful meeting with key telecom players from Europe and outside Europe, including all the big companies, that resulted in a creation of a document, a research roadmap that they published internally through their internal organization. We replicated that very recently this year together with Airbus, looking at the aviation industry. We are publishing various frameworks and toolsets that we are directly marketing to these big industrial players. At the same time, we have a partner in Munich who specializes in engaging, let's say, in engaging startups, and we have a series of events through them where various startup and venture capital firms were working together with us and talking to us and seeing what technology they could use. That included competitions, that included information days, and that we're very successful in engaging with them.
Since our network is about humans and about increasing our capabilities and enhancing them, we have a very strong focus on the societal impact. So we focused on 3 things. The first thing is raising awareness from a political perspective about the importance of investing in Gen AI. The second thing is we did real-world tools. So for example, recently we have an augmented reality tool that is being used in real pancreatic surgeries, and it's being covered a lot now by the news in Germany. And last but not least, we wanted to go beyond Gen AI for AI scientists and all of those internal discussions about science. We wanted to do Gen AI for all and AI for good. So we created a series of events with parents, with immigrants, for mental health, with social sciences, and with NGOs in order to show them how can they use Gen AI to do their processes. We're having a lot of upcoming events. We'd love to see any of you there, please. So we're having a Women in Computing workshop. This is an upcoming because we have a very strong focus as well on mentoring early career researchers in the consortium. And we have several scientific events where you can submit papers and go to cool locations as well. We'd like to tell you that we have a lot of processes now and a lot of resources from doing the network, and we'd be very happy to share it with you. So never hesitate to contact us if we can help in any way. And I'll tell you about the lessons learned.
It's a lot of lessons learned, but you can summarize them essentially in 2 points. We think that it's a new type of project where you combine the networking aspect with the research aspect, which is a really interesting idea. We believe that our idea of conducting it through this notion of micro-projects, right? So I really believe that the best thing in this European project is get a small group of young, bright PhD, get them to butt their hands together somewhere and write a paper, do a toolset, is how you really progress research and build networks for the future. In practical terms, what we missed, but it seems that it's in place now, was the ability to engage external partners, not just to travel funds, but actually to stipends, to pay them also personal cost for something. I think that changed now. That's very important. And I would like to second what has been said by Elisa, that actually a big challenge is this issue of sustainability. And we understand that the framework is what it is, and we now have to use what things are there. As an input to the Commission, on the national level for this sort of projects, like in Germany, with things in Germany, but also in Holland, in other countries, this type of project typically are for 8 to 10 years. And I think you may think about changing the instrument for this sort of project to actually establishing them for this sort of stuff, because you use 4 years to use the community and somehow you have to maintain it. On the other hand, if you look for like 8 to 10 years, what you see that typically looking at the speed at which science is moving, that is what you would need. But otherwise, we found this to be an extremely fruitful experience.
Thank you. Thanks. Taylor.
Yes, hi. So I'm here to present TAILOR. Fredrik Heinz of Linköping University is the coordinator. I'm merely the project manager. Fredrik says hi. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here. So, but I'm giving you 5 minutes, no more. So, TAILOR is all about trustworthy AI, and it's about combining learning with reasoning. That is what we started out with, and that is where we still stand. Pushing for neurosymbolic AI in Europe. So from the scientific side, the highlights, we would say we had loads of publications, and maybe most important, we have more than 50 publications showing increased trustworthiness of an AI technique, and more than 50 publications showing increased performance and new abilities of integrating learning, reasoning, and optimization. So the learning and reasoning is very strong in TAILOR. And we strongly believe that the next steps for Europe is to focus on neurosymbolic AI. This is a key to trustworthy generative AI. And we also believe that Europe has an opportunity. We're strong in neurosymbolic AI. We could get ahead here. On the network side, so TAILOR is a project of 54 partners. Okay, so this is the moving thing is the impact story. We made this booklet. I brought a few of them. If you're interested, you can also have a look at them just to show all the good things we did. We had 2 kinds of funds, one for internal exchange between students and young researchers, and one for external exchange with other non-TAILOR organizations. And this was, of course, as you know, networking really, really impactful. We also had 10 non-academic, or we have still, 10 non-academic organizations, industry, collaborating closely with the academic and the industry, the research institutes, also very successful. Working together with both HumanE-AI-Net and Vision very closely on the team development workshops. Our achievements, we made a handbook of trustworthy AI, so fantastic work led by the CNR of Italy, explaining the terms of trustworthy AI, first on a level so also a layman can understand, and then deepening it. Very, very useful and important, and we're disseminating it strongly. We made our own strategic research and innovation roadmap, as all of us, providing guidance to reach human-centric and trustworthy AI in line with the European values that we favor. And also our achievements, I need to also mention the research with neurosymbolic methods, combining learning and reasoning. Lessons learned, I have only 3. Well, there are more, but these are the most important, I think. Like Paul said, networks take time to build and should be long-term undertakings. But then also maybe this is also stating what Paul already said, that micro-projects, because you can be flexible in a network, so we all adapted to the Commission's demand for generative AI, and it is something you can do in a network. And the key is to find flexible instruments that support researchers to collaborate and to do joint research. Thank you very much.
Okay, Vision now.
Great, good morning everybody. So Holger won't be here until tomorrow, so I'm filling in for him. My name is Brian Sullivan and I'm part of the Vision Consortium. So Vision, as you know, is the CSA that coordinates and supports the various networks. So it stands for Value and Impact Through Synergy, Interaction, Cooperation of Networks of Excellence Centers. And essentially, the purpose here was, as Cecile said in her opening remarks, was to make Europe a powerhouse of human-centered and trustworthy AI. And so this was a 4-year CSA, so it ends at the end of August, like many of us do. It originally was supporting 4 networks, then became 6, then became the current 9. And it strongly leverages the existing networks, very strongly based on CLAIRE, and brings together lots of people in CLAIRE, ELISE, HumanE-AI-Net, and many others as well. So, as you all have heard, there were 4 networks at the ICT 48 stage. So TAILOR, that's Trine has just presented, AI for Media, HumanE-AI-Net, and ELISE. And in 2022, 2 new ones were added. ELSA was focused on secure and safe AI, and eRobin was very much focused on robotics. And of course, then in September of last year, that extended to 9 with the addition of ENFIELD, dAIEDGE, and ELIAS. And so I think, in some sense, what this sort of motivates is that we need something that is sustained into the future that allows us to really support these networks. So while Vision existed on the same start date as most of your networks, the 4 original networks, of course, the new networks are coming quite late for us to support them. So that's something that is a concern, obviously. We'll be talking about that during the session on the sustainability of Vision and the networks it's created, and Holger will be very much here and leading that discussion. And of course, this all fits into a broader AI ecosystem. I'll be talking about the AI on Demand platform in a few minutes, and we have colleagues here who are working on that. But of course, there's the EURAI Association, the European AI Association, CLAIRE, ELISE, and so on, e-robotics, all of these various activities, and of course the new PPP ADRA, the AI Data and Robotics PPP. So what kind of mechanisms has Vision introduced to try and support the networks? Well, it has tried to support the exchange of best practices and expertise across the networks and beyond through various types of workshops and activities. We've done lots of theme development workshops to strengthen links between academia and industry and sort of map out what the challenges are and how they can work together. Looking at cross-disciplinary AI initiatives and curricula, we originally envisaged that we would work at all levels of the education program, but I think when we started talking to AI for Media and Yiannis about IDA, we really focused on that very, very strongly. So that's been our primary focus with AI for Media, and indeed all of the networks over the last number of years, and it's been very, very successful. Integrated road mapping, so there's been many meetings where we've met with you to do road mapping activities. With AI for Europe, obviously the brand mark that we have, we worked on that jointly with AI for Europe, and that's very, very strong now. You're all using it, which is really, really great, and hopefully that'll sustain into the future. And it was great to hear Cecile sort of highlighting that in her presentation. And then we look at the complementarity of the various initiatives like AI for Europe, AI for EU, the predecessor, the digital innovation hubs, and so on. And finally, a very nice piece of work which you saw in Cecile's presentation is the mapping of the EU, the European AI ecosystem, and so colleagues from TNO have been leading that, and you'll see that a little bit more in the last few days. There's been lots of work pulling that more into the AI on Demand platform, and so hopefully you'll see that a bit more visibly within the AI on Demand platform. There's a really superb map of what's going on from a European point of view. What I'd really ask you to do over the next few days is that in order to try and look at how we sustain the community more generally, what kind of activities should be prioritized and so on, there is a QR code which I'm hoping will be distributed on paper to you over the next while. But if you want to grab your phones there and take a minute or two to complete that, it would be very, very useful to help us really identify what the priorities should be as we go into the future. Because obviously once Vision finishes, as in the grant finishes, we do want to maintain the sort of Vision activity, and so some of that will be done through AI for Europe and the AI on Demand platform. Some of it will be done through the partnership. Some of it will be done in collaboration with you in different ways. So we really want to figure out what the best way to do that is from the community point of view. And so Long Pham, who's sitting here in the second row, who put up her hand, she'll be here to talk to you about many of these activities and lots of our other colleagues from Vision who are in the room. So that's Vision. So I can step back and step forward and talk about AI for Europe. Shall I do that? So I'm also the coordinator of AI for Europe. So this is one of the many projects focused on the AI NoE platform, and I just want to introduce you to a number of people. There's two guys talking at the back of the room who are working on the AI NoE platform, Gabrielle and Martin. If you might shake your hands in the air so everybody sees who you are. So technical questions about the AI NoE platform, these are the two guys you need to ask. You can ask me, I'll end up directing you to them. So these are the fellows who are really leading the charge, along with others in the project, to develop the technical backbone of the AI NoE platform. You will find that there are, from the Commission's point of view, there's two major initiatives on the AI NoE platform. There's AI for Europe, which is really dedicated towards your requirements and your needs, and it's great to see that there's been so much engagement in the terms of putting assets on the platform. There's a new project called Deploy AI, which is really focused on the industry side. So our focus for the next 2 years is going to be on really developing a platform that's of value and is useful to you as European AI researchers. And so we very much rely on you for the feedback and the participation and the cooperation to make that a success. So it's a community-driven platform. So what does community-driven mean? Well, it means that you're all encouraged to participate. Gabrielle, who's in the back of the room, is the technical coordinator of the project. He orchestrates the technical activity within the project. And essentially at this point, huge progress has been made in developing a platform that is really robust and feature-rich. It has so at its core is an API and a metadata catalog. When something is on the platform, it's pulled into this database, and that database then allows you to build, allows you and others to build upon those resources to build interesting services for the community. And so we'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. So it can host your project websites, it can host your own websites, it can host. It has an API to allow you to extend it and build upon it. You can connect other sources of data like Hugging Face and all these other things into it. You can build applications on it. And so ultimately, we wanted to become a kind of a one-stop shop where you can come, you can make your own research available through the data sets you use, through the benchmarks you use, but also through the code that you've shared, maybe through your publications, that can be executed, that can be benchmarked against other similar systems on the platform, amongst many, many other things. Some of the highlights, at this point we have this really open and easily accessible distributed platform, so you can create a node of the platform in your own institution. There's a very strong dissemination channel. There's a dedicated communications team who are there to help you to disseminate your work. The platform at the moment has 3 key services that are available. There's a service called My Library, which allows you to interact with the 500,000 or more resources that are on the platform to create your own notebooks, to run your own experiments, to benchmark your own experiments, and so on. AI Builder is a system that allows you to build pipelines and build your own services and so on. And there's a system called Rail, which all of which are built on the metadata catalog, and you can pull in from the resources and assets that are on the platform, all made available by you and by your colleagues, and also drawn in from other sources that we've developed over time. So this gives you this picture, which I'm not going to go through, gives you a sort of sense of the structure of the AI NoE platform. So when you go to the website, you just see, in a sense, what's being surfaced to you at the moment. But underneath the website is a very sophisticated SDK and a very rich database of resources and pointers to other infrastructure. So at the moment, it's been there are about 500,000 resources in terms of data sets, machine learning models, experiments, and all these types of other things that you can play with through My Library. And through AI Builder, this pipeline development system, there are about 400 models for you to use and to extend upon and to share. So Rail then is I mentioned earlier, it's a work in progress, and it's a tool that allows practitioners to explore and to use the assets that are directly on the platform. So it's focused on reproducibility. It's focused on being able to reuse results that are already on the platform. So this might be a nice tool, for example, for students and PhD researchers to use, as well as people who are just trying to explore the platform. And we're really trying to, at this point, highlight the sort of success stories of what's going on in the networks. So in the last few days, a success stories service has been developed, and so we'll be calling on you to maybe profile the great successes in your projects, so that these can be essentially, presented on the website over in a kind of a timed manner. But very much this is something that we want to work on with you. So lessons learned. Well, it's challenging to build a platform like this for all sorts of reasons. The vision for the platform really came from the Commission, where they believe that what Europe needs is a platform like this. So obviously what we need to do is then take that vision and try to ensure that it is something of value, and that something can be developed as of value to you, the researchers on the ground, the people who are actually doing the work. So your use of it and your contributions to it are key. There are working groups being created. So we said it's a community-driven platform. So in the last few months, we've developed a governance structure for the platform. We've developed a working group structure for the platform, and you'll be seeing from us a call to participate. So if you wish to join a working group or contribute in some way, we'd love to see you getting involved. There is a technical contributors forum where you can come and talk about the kinds of things that you want to do and extend on the platform. If you have any ideas whatsoever about what could be done technically on the platform, you can talk to me, you can talk to Gabriel or Martin in the back row up there. And we're very, very keen to make sure that the thing is a success for you. And so the kind of feedback you give to us is very, very valuable. So with that, I'm going to hand over to yourself, and you can call Elsa and you, Robin. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so we had, so there were 3 waves of Network of Excellency. So this was the first wave. Now with the second wave, since 2022, there are 2 projects. So one is ELSA. I think Mario is not here, so we have a video.
Hello, my name is Mario Fritz. I'm the coordinator of the ELSA European Lighthouse on Secure and Safe AI, and it's my pleasure to introduce the network and give you some updates. Our network is motivated by the immense potential that AI has to impact our society for good, but equally we are aware of the threats that lie ahead of us that we need to be mitigating in order to bring this technology to bear for the good of our society. Hence, our research is aligned with European values, particularly in the dimensions of robustness, privacy, human agency and oversight. And whenever possible, we'll try to innovate in the space with rigorous methodology and foundations, so we can provide guarantees that can't be broken tomorrow, and therefore will not disrupt the trust of people in this technology. This is the outline of our project in very coarse fashion. So we have the grand challenges of robustness, certification, as well as privacy and federated collaborative learning, as well as human agency and oversight in human-in-the-loop decision-making. These are targeted towards different use cases to bring to bear innovation in these most pressing areas, namely health, autonomous driving, robotics, cybersecurity, media, and document intelligence. These threats are accompanied by activities along the lines of risk analysis, threat modeling, but also legal requirements and ethical and societal values. All of our activities running, in particular the research programs. We have published our strategic research agenda. We have a very strong benchmarking platform efforts. Our connections to industry activities are aligned in the Innovation Lab. We have a mobility program, but also perform outreach with the Bridgehead office to other networks, and spread our knowledge to the general public and other stakeholders, and strongly interact with the ELISE PhD program to foster talent. So impact is brought to bear in the dimensions of science, society, and economy. In science, we have a very strong track record on top-tier publications over the whole network. We publish softwares and tools, and also in benchmarking, we provide quantitative ways to measure progress and drive innovation forward. For society, we have outreach activities to stakeholders and regulators, as well as general public and press and media coverage. and we get additional traction with economy, with our cascading funding schemes and other activities to innovation labs. I already mentioned the benchmarking platform, which has been very well received internationally and has been run competition at top conferences in the field. So our work is publicized at workshops and other events that we host, but they are also peer-reviewed and accepted at the top conference accompanying top-tier venues internationally. Our ELSA strategic research agenda highlighted important aspects of threat modeling and risk analysis that bring together ideas from AI and cybersecurity and have multiple other interdisciplinary aspects. We also propose new ideas like an ML Trust Ops pipeline, as well as advocate openness, transparency, and accountability as it's brought into context of open source models. We have been quick to adopt new trends and embraced emerging topics like foundation models and large language models, and investigated problems of hallucination and mitigated those, privacy in foundation models, robustness in agentic behavior, as well as pioneered LLM security, foundation model red teaming efforts, and biases in LLMs. So some of the highlights are excellence in research that our network provides here, and as well as foundational solutions to these important problems. We engage in interdisciplinary endeavors like cybersecurity, humanities, and ethical legal aspects. And the benchmarking platform has very well received and had a broad impact in the research community, driving research in the most important directions. We have shown agility to adapt to new trends like LLMs and have pioneered these areas and had outreach to companies that are driving this space like Microsoft, OpenAI, and Google, as well as work together with them on the issues that are here emerging. Continue to act as a European think tank on secure and safe AI, and want to be a strong partner to the EU in this very dynamic situation. As an outlook, we continue research excellence and intensify our interactions with industry and provide advice in the context of EU AI Act. We further develop the SRA and expand our network to multiple sites across Europe and provide further educational material to again foster talent and bring awareness to these important topics. We continue to develop the network and the scope, as well as seek strategic partners in this space. With this, I thank you very much for your attention. A successful ICT 48 event, and looking forward to connect soon.
Okay. No. This one. Okay, Robin.
Yeah, very good morning to everybody. My name is Bruno Siciliano from University of Naples Federico II, and I'm representing Alain Pagani from DLR, who has kindly prepared this presentation along with Rebecca Varpup, who I thank. She's here and she's on the project management of the scheme. I've actually noticed a very nice armochromia among the logos of all the network of excellence involved. It's like blue, yellow, green, gray, which is very much, you know, the branding colors of the European Commission. Also, I think this is really a nice moment for robotics and AI. You might remember one of the founders of OpenAI, Wojciech Zaremba, that in October of 2021, he declared that OpenAI was only focusing on AI and not on robotics. But time has changed because, you know, with Sam Altman and ChatGPT, there was the very first experiment of OpenAI partnering with Figure for the Figure 1 humanoid, and probably some of you have seen this video, which was on the socials, on the network last March. So the challenge of physical generative AI has very much started. So it's nice to be all together under this umbrella, and I really thank Cecile and her unit for making this happen. So EUROBIN started in 2022 with 33 partners from 14 countries and 26 European cities, and also is a good blend of academic and industrial partners. And so the goal is to pursue excellence in science and technology, as well as to facilitate transferability of cognition-enabled robotic methods, and also with the creation of network of excellence labs. Administratively speaking, contractually speaking, ours is a research innovation action, although it is very much functioning as a network of excellence. So these are the four topics, the four core topics of robotics and AI. Interaction, which is very much about the physical AI. This is like what we used to call the interaction technology as the natural evolution of information and communication technology, which is the topic of one of the work packages. And the other work packages are about knowledge, learning, and human-centered robotics. And we have three application scenarios. One is about manufacturing for a circular economy. The other one is personal robots for enhanced quality of life and well-being. And the third one is outdoor robots for sustainable communities. Also, if we look at the goals and the methods, both on the scientific and the technological side, this is like we achieve this goal by favoring the launch of cooperative competitions for benchmarking and transfer in these application fields. And this is really what is needed, just is like to compare different algorithms and to allow to benchmark them in a sort of objective fashion. The integrative network flavor of excellence in robotics is also experienced in terms of Eurocore. Eurocore is an initiative that we're promoting, which goes around a number of scientific workshops, the cascaded funding of smaller projects, smaller size projects, and the science industry dialogue, and the PhD and fellow program, the hackathons, the competition which I mentioned, and last but not least, a massive action on dissemination, exploitation, and communication, really to familiarize the European not only the research and technology community about the importance of physical AI and robotics, but also about the big challenge that Cecile pointed out, to make Europe compete at the highest level. We organize a number of European weeks. The last one was successfully held in Seville in May 2023 with science tutorials, workshops, and hackathon results. And I hope that yes, the movie works. This is great. Should I probably press here? So this is like, I won't be showing you the whole minute of the whole video. This is just a short version that is in this compilation, but there's a QR code that you can scan and you can access, the longer video on YouTube. So this was very nice because we brought different kinds of robots, and in the facility available by our friends of Aníbal Ollero and the other colleagues at University of Sevilla. And also, this was also a very good opportunity for the youngsters, just to access different kind of robotic system. And it was a pretty strong coverage, both on the local media, on the Spanish media, because the event being held in Seville, but also at the European level. I think I can go back to the screen. Like this?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not so bad. Okay. Okay. This was a backup movie, right? Yes. Okay. Yes, and also the outreach was continued at we have one big event in European robotics. This is the SCOL European Robotics Forum. This is held every year since 2013, if I remember well, and it's different from a normal conference or a symposium because it's a forum. So there are no technical sessions. Basically, they're like workshops and demos. And these are some highlights of the latest edition of European Robotics Forum, which was held in Rimini, in Italy. And the next one will be held, if I remember well, in March 2025 in Stuttgart. Also, the results of our project are also seen in terms of the executive summary for the Robotics Strategic Research Agenda, which was published in January 2024. And there's a QR code if you're interested to download this document. What about next, the planned activities? We will have a second European week. This will be held in the cozy city of Nancy in November, hosted by our friend and colleague Serena Ivaldi, who is working really strongly on making this happen at the most successful way. And this will include what we call a cooperative competition, also using Eurocore. And it's a nice partnering with one of the big IEEE sponsor conferences on humanoids. So this is like the European Week is did it after the humanoids conference. And there is a call for participation which is undergoing, and there is 2-3 more weeks to submit participation. Also, we have a third round of open calls within Eurobin. This is being planned for spring 2025, and also at the annual, the major event of robotics and automation, which is in Europe. I'm speaking about the Automatica Fair in Munich. This will be in the June of next year, and there will be a Roboton, an hackathon, which is being organized by our project. And the plan is also to hold a third Eurobin week in the spring of 2026. And politically speaking, we are heading towards Brussels, just to attract the attention of the European officers on robotics, and not only Cecile and her unit, but maybe Solis and the other stuff. Pardon me? Yeah, I know, but Brussels is close enough. Thank you so much indeed.
Okay, and the last 3 NoEs that started in September 23. So the first one is dAIEDGE.
So hello everyone from my side. I'm Alain Pagani from DFKI. I'm the coordinator of the Network of Excellence dAIEDGE. dAIEDGE is the network that focuses on AI at the edge. So it comes with a number of challenges and technical difficulties. And in order to solve them, we have gathered a consortium of 36 partners. And you see the fact that we work at the edge reflects also in the choice of the consortium partners with industrial partners working in the chip domain, but also partners that work on software for AI at the edge. So we are a total of 36, 14 research institutes, 10 universities, 9 industrial partners, 3 associations, and we come globally from 15 countries with a global budget of 14 million euro. So we started actually in September last year by setting our project objectives. So we have 6 objectives. The first one is to push forward the scientific progress on edge AI. So here we are doing a foundational research, both in hardware and in software, with excellence science. Now, the second one is, of course, to create the network. So we started by the consortium, but we want also to extend the network to new partners. So we will open it to the external partners. The third one is to work like almost all, or if not all, of the network of excellence on a strategic research agenda. Here we focus, of course, on the agenda for AI at the edge. We will also contribute to the joint strategic research agenda. Now the next goals are more of practical nature. We want to show that we can demonstrate our progress. So we are not only creating technologies, but we want to show it. So here we have 3 use cases that I will present in a second. The virtual innovation infrastructure is, we thought that we would like to federate many things. Benchmarks, we want to make benchmarks available for everyone. We want to make data sets available. We want to make experiments available. And for that, we are building a virtual edge AI laboratory. So for those who are interested, there is a special session this afternoon presenting the virtual AI laboratory, but globally, you can share assets from different places and use these assets to create a virtual experiment and test your algorithms on specific hardware. And the last goal is, of course, the industrial ecosystem. So we want to show that the technologies are useful also for the industry. And for that, we have a virtual, a virtual incubator, so helping SMEs to create value, and also a distributed AI marketplace that we will develop in collaboration with the AI on Demand platform. So these are our 3 pilots. So the first one is using a drone to do security monitoring and inspection in warehouses. So, the second one, we are looking on AI at the edge for satellite image pre-processing, which we think is probably the ultimate edge if you do the processing on a satellite. And the third one is AI at the edge for smart cities. So here we will use mainly cameras, but also other sensors to be able to monitor pedestrians, traffic, and other things in smart cities. In terms of achievements, I wanted to present some of the events that we have been organizing so far. So we are organizing or co-organizing many events. The first one was the Edge AI conference that took place in Athens last year. We co-organized the LVM hackathon in Kaiserslautern with HumanE-AI. We have presented also two workshops in the HighPeak conference in Munich. We are having also workshops to gather information from the stakeholders like AI requirements, which forms the base for our strategic research agenda, and a workshop in The Hague, AI Treats, which is more on the security aspects. And of course, we had the kickoff meeting with all the consortium. Now, as a plan, I wanted to use the opportunity to advertise for our open calls. So we have two open calls. One is for exchange programs. So we will have up to 60,000 euro per beneficiary to use for mobility, up to 6 months of exchange program. The call will be open by the 29th of August. So globally, we'll be open in September and October. And we will provide grants for 10 to 15 beneficiaries. And the second call is for having collaborative projects. So external partners can work with the dAIEDGE consortium on specific technical projects, and the call will be open next year in February or March. We will have there up to 20 beneficiaries. And this is it for dAIEDGE, so thank you for your attention.
Okay, so I'm coordinating ELIAS, which stands for European Lighthouse of AI for Sustainability. So it's a network of 31 partners. We have strong connection with ELISE. You can also see the EL type of stuff. So so the name was not chosen randomly. And it's a strong connection with ELISE and AI for Media. Practically what we were looking into, have 3 research spheres. So looking at sustainability at the global level, at the level of the planet, in which we have data-driven modeling of physical system, AI for fast scientific computations, and AI algorithm for coordinated use of resources. Then we have AI for a sustainable society. So here we have problems like sustainable AI for designing problems, protecting democracy, sustainable prosperity, energy efficient AI models, and then we go at the individual level in which we look at fairness, we look at privacy preserving machine learning, personalization, and so on. And we have contributing to building up the AI Lighthouse, and we also have programs for student exchanges, reinforcement of the world-class EU AI community, and fostering the new generation of EA talents. And all these spheres, of course, are the center for different use cases. So these are the 7 use cases that we started with. So we have use cases on vegetation state forecasting, building optimization, migrant perception in EU, responsible user-centric advertisement, personalized copiloting systems, and so on. Right. So these are some of the things that we are working on. We already had several events, and we are well ahead into our plans to work on. We also have a call for research activities to complement the 7 use cases initially considered. So, like in the previous case, there are up to 60K for each proposal, and we are going to open the call in December 2024, and there will be in the first call 4 beneficiaries and 4 beneficiaries in the second call, which will be later in the project. Okay, so last but not least, ENFIELD.
Good morning from me as well. I'm George Pathoulias from NTNU in Norway, and I'm the coordinator of the last of the Networks of Excellence projects. It's ENFIELD. We started last September, so we're almost 1 year old. We have a consortium of 30 partners out of 18 countries. We have 20 research beneficiaries and 20 industry or public entities. So we have a good mixture of doing research in AI and applying our results in a number of different real-world problems. So the research that we are planning to do in the project, or we have actually started doing, is based upon 4 distinct research pillars. The first one is adaptive AI, where colleagues are dealing with things related to metrics for adaptive AI, doing adaptive AI on the edge, doing adaptive AI and caring for robustness, trustworthiness, and brain-inspired adaptive AI. Another research pillar is green AI, where we're trying to do green AI on the edge, trying to see what are the best metrics for green AI, and trying to do green AI on the edge and cloud continuum. Human-centric AI, where we deal with explainable AI, human and AI shared decision-making, interpretation of such use cases, and social impacts. And finally, we have the 4th pillar, which is trustworthy AI, and relates to all the security issues of AI systems, privacy, compliance of AI systems with regulation, and how AI is integrated in distributed setups. And all the results that we are producing out of this research activity are then applied into 4 different verticals, as we call them, which are 4 significant topics: energy, healthcare, manufacturing, and space. So the idea is that in the later stage of the project, the research output of the 4 different research pillars is going to be applied into specific use cases in those 4 different application domains. We have a number of activities that are running and are probably interesting for you. We have an exchange scheme in which we fund researchers to join ENFIELD entities and pay a research visit there. This has been open in the previous months and it will be open again later this summer. But for now, we have the third-party innovation scheme open, which is a call that is about SMEs, research institutes, large companies, probably everybody that want to do a small project up to 6 months and up to 60,000 euros of grant in the domain of AI and some specific use cases that we have defined. The call is open right now until it will close on 31st of July. And the second item is that we are having our first hackathon. It will be held at the end of summer, 20 to 30 of August in Bucharest, in Romania. It will be about bias identification and mitigation in AI. The deadline for the proposals is this month, 30th of June, and the prices will be up to 5,000 euros. So if you have any researchers on your networks that work on bias and would be interested, please let them know. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we have very good ground for working together. There are a lot of lessons learned, and I hope we will also use advice and we kind of try to push forward with our activities. And now I think we are ready for coffee. He wants to jeopardize your coffee break, but
a little bit. So we managed to be exactly 30 minutes late. I suggest we have a 20 minutes coffee break instead of half an hour. And then the next sessions, instead of being 1 hour and a half, please make it 1 hour and 20 minutes. And if we also skip 10 minutes from lunch, hopefully in theory we will be okay. So let's start with a 20 minutes coffee break, and then we remind you again for the bit shorter parallel sessions after it.
sorry.